I'm Reggie Ponder, the Reel Critic. I got a chance to speak with the ladies of the new movie, The Color Purple. Danielle Brooks, Fantasia Barrino, and Taraji P. Henson. We talked about the men of the movie and what they would like men to take away from this movie. Here's an excerpt from my interview. What is the message you want men to take away, us to take away from this?
That's a good question. There's so many things. One, there's different ways to love. It is okay to surrender to your woman, in a sense. I feel like we stick too closely to these gender norms that play in marriages, and I feel like Harpo and Sophia really were shaking that up. And I feel like if a lot of men were open more to doing things that worked best for their marriage or their relationship, and not so much of like how we've been taught to do things, we actually might be a lot more happy. So that's one thing I really hope. And also is like with the story of Mr. is like redemption, you know, you can come back again and rewrite your wrongs. And not that every man has had some terrible story like Mr., but if you know of someone in your life like a Mr., or if you are that, there is room for forgiveness, you know, and I hope that that's what men take from this.
When we talk about the film, I feel that Mr. is this larger-than-life character, and that Celie was fighting to bring that giant down to size. Can you speak to that character and possibly connect it to how you're working to bring your giant down?
You know what, honestly, though, I'm going to say I don't know if she was fighting to bring it down to size. I think she was fighting for him to open his eyes and really see. He could not see because everything that he was looking and seeing and everything that he ate, slept, breathed his father. That generational curse that was on his life. I'm a mother now, so I can only speak from looking at my son and the men in my life. I'm the only girl. I have 3 brothers. And I have 16, there's a lot of uncles in my life. And on my father's side is 16 of them. And so I was able to grow up and watch a lot and see a lot. Then let's not forget the relationships that I were in when it comes to, you know, men. I believe that they should never be brought down. We have to lift them up. But there are times that they cannot see themselves because they're so busy reaching back into their past, which is generational things. That's all they knew. That's all he could see. And I think once Celie left, stood up for herself, and showed him that she really brought something to the table. I don't think she was trying to bring him down. I think she wanted him to open his eyes so he could see.
What do you want men to take away from this? What do you want? How do you want us to receive this and grow from it?
I want you to know, men, that the strength is in being vulnerable. It was so beautiful to see Mr., this hard, this man who was abusive, and he started off as like a snake. And it was good to see him come full circle and learn something about the stuff he was doing. You know, he had a real awakening in that moment when he's face down in the mud and the rain is coming down on him. He had to surrender. He had to surrender. He had to put that strong man shield down, and he had to surrender and do the right thing. And that's a vulnerable place for a lot of men. But I beg you to lean into that a little more, because that is where the strength and the healing is. I want black men, or men period, to walk away from this and heal. I want people to walk away from this healing. I want families breaking generational curses. You know, I want people to heal. That is my mission in life. That's why I started the Boris Lawrence Henson Foundation for mental wellness in the Black and brown community.
What was that thing that helped you break through and be able to revisit Celie? There's a sign to do it, but then there's the ability to go through it. Can you speak to that?
You better preach. To be very, very honest with you, and you know I'm going to be. And I think I saw you the other day. Did I just see? Yes. You did. Okay. So I had just started traumatic therapy. What I mean by traumatic therapy means they take you back to your childhood to bring up things that is kind of hindering you or affecting you in your grown life. And I had to stop it. I had to stop it. My therapist would call me several times and say, hey, I'm thinking you, and I said, no, you don't understand. I have to let it go, and I have to go back to the young Fantasia, and I need her and Celie to have a conversation. That was the only way I could play it.
There's a lot of talk about us doing films that show black trauma. So while it's there in this movie, there's also black joy. Can you speak to that?
Well, that's us. That's who we are as a people. We never let our trauma and oppression and all the things that have happened to us in history and that are still happening to us, never let it consume us. We never wallow in the muck. We are vibrant, bright people. We dance, we go to church, we sing when we don't have the words. That's just who we are. It's our culture. You know, we have forgiveness and redemption in our heart, forgiving our oppressors time and time again. We just want to live. We just want to live, you know, happily.
What would be your one word for this film?
Joy, overcoming joy. I don't know. Joy. I just feel so much joy. And the reason I say that, and I'll say it really quickly, is because this story in the beginning, when it was done in 1985, I think we focused so much on the pain and the suffering of us as black people. But I think Bliss is really highlighting that we are people that really do get back up at the end of the day. We find joy even through our pain. You know, we find happiness and laughter. So I feel like that's what I want people to hold on to, is that joy and hope for their future.
So I already told you, you can check out the rest of the interview at ReggiePonder.com. The Color Purple comes out on Christmas Day, so you can check it out then. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at The Reel Critic. That's REEL. And I'll see you next time.